Ready when you are, Chair Boutre.
All right, thank you, Bill. All right, I'm going to call this meeting of the Executive Committee of the Commission for Arts and Culture to order. Welcome, everybody. My name is Janet Boutre, and I'm the chair of the City of San Diego Commission for Arts and Culture. We're going to do a quick roll call to confirm commissioner attendance. So when I call your name, please unmute yourself and say present. Commissioner Smith? I know Commissioner Nuana will not be joining us today. Commissioner Bossler?
Present. Good morning.
Good morning. Commissioner Hughes?
Present. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Commissioner Frank?
Hello.
Hello. And Commissioner Meza? All righty. Thank you. Your attendance has been noted. Also joining us today is city staff, including Executive Director Jonathan Gluss, Chief of Civic Arts Strategies, Christine Jones, Project Manager Bel Reza, Project Manager, Laura Bullock. Before we get into today's agenda, I'm going to call on Bel to run down some of the guidelines for today's meetings. I'd like to note that Commissioner Smith has joined us. Welcome, Rebecca.
Good morning, commissioners. As you've noticed by now, hopefully, we're now using Zoom webinar. This is an effort to provide greater accessibility. And Jonathan just joined as well, so hi, Jonathan. Members of the public may now join the meeting as webinar attendees in order to provide public comment in real time. As a refresher, please note the buttons on your control bar at the bottom of the Zoom window. Camera icon to activate your video, microphone to mute and unmute. Please remember to stay muted when you're not talking. Please keep your chat open at all times and refrain from using the meeting chat for anything other than signaling that you'd like to speak in order to comply with Brown Act. Thank you, Chair Boutre.
Thank you, Bel. We'll now move on to non-agenda public comment. The public was invited to submit public comment on agenda and non-agenda public items via a web form, which is accessible through the agenda and the Commission's website. Members of the public may also join this meeting as webinar attendees. If members of the public have submitted comments in writing via the web form, staff will read aloud any public comment, and she will also call on any attendees who would like to provide comment. Bel, did we receive any non-agenda public comment?
We did not receive any non-agenda public comment, but we'll check in with the members in attendance today, public in attendance. So to those members of the public in attendance, please click the button to raise your hand and indicate you'd like to comment. I will enable you to speak and send you a prompt to unmute yourself in order. When I call your name, please state your name for the record. You will have 3 minutes to provide comment, after which you will be placed on mute again. If you are joining via phone, please press *9 to raise your hand. So please raise your hand now if you'd like to provide non-agenda public comment. And seeing none, Chair Boutre.
Thanks, Bel. Okay, first thing, our first action item is our May 14th committee meeting minutes. Hope everybody had a chance to review the minutes. I would like to ask somebody to make a motion to approve the minutes. You would do that by typing speak. Commissioner Smith?
So moved. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Do we have a second on the minutes? Thank you.
I'm sorry, again, I do on an iPad, so I don't know how to type speak, but I raised my hand. So is it okay if I second?
Yes, it is. Commissioner
Okay,
Bossler
sorry. Love technology.
has seconded that that motion. I almost said emotion. Whoa. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Does anybody have any input on these minutes? Okay, I don't see any commissioners. Oh, sorry, Commissioner Hughes.
Chair, I just want to clarify, you had said the May 14th minutes, but these are actually the minutes of July 9. I think you were just reading the first line of the commission business in the minutes that said May 14th. So I just wanted, for the record, to clarify.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All righty. So any other comments regarding these minutes? Great, then we'll vote. I will call your name. Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have any public comment on the minutes?
To those members of the public in attendance, please click the button to raise your hand and indicate that you'd like to speak. Seeing none.
Very good, thanks. Okay, well, go ahead and take a vote, and you will unmute yourself, say yay or nay or abstain. Remember, you don't have to have been at the meeting to discuss or vote. So Commissioner Smith?
Yay.
Thank you. Commissioner Bossler? You can nod your
Yay.
head.
Yay.
Thank you. Commissioner Hughes?
Yay.
Thank you. And my vote is a yay, so motion carries. Thank you. All righty.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Frank. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Hello.
sorry. You know what? It wasn't on the list, and that's why. I'm sorry. Commissioner Frank, what is your
I'm never on
vote?
the list. Every time I go to like the VIP line and say I'm on the list, they're like, dude, you're not on the list. So, yay.
Thank you. I'll make sure I ask you first next time. Alrighty. I'd like to ask for a quick update from committee chairs who would like to brief us. Commissioner Bossler, do you want to let us know what's happening with policy and funding?
Yes, I would. Okay, here we go. Policy and Funding Committee met on August 20th. During the meeting, Senior Arts and Culture Funding Manager Deanna Augustini gave us updates on the status of the fiscal year 22 as well as fiscal year 23 funding programs. So here were some key takeaways. For fiscal year 22, staff is ahead in routing agreements, also thanks to the removal of the insurance requirement. Staff is also aware of the challenges that organizations are facing due to the ongoing pandemic and is committed to supporting organizations by advising them on possible adjustments to make sure that the awardees can still meet the agreement requirements as the situation evolves, given COVID. Additionally, in regard to fiscal year 23, staff is getting ready to launch guidelines towards the end of this month and is finalizing the calendar for technical assistance workshops, including 9 to be co-hosted with council members in all districts.
Yay.
Council Policy 100-03 revisions are anticipated to go to the City Council meeting this month as well, and that will have an impact on the exact timing of guideline release, which is still expected to occur towards the end of September. Staff also provided an overview of the 23 funding cycle's overall timeline from guidelines released this month to awards announcement next spring. As a reminder, the call for panelists to review fiscal year 23 applications is now live and available on the Commission's website. Commissioners are invited to share the opportunity with their network locally, nationally, and binationally. Next, as you're probably aware, the County of San Diego approved in concept establishing a county arts agency. This is wonderful and exciting news for both our county and for the city to have such a relevant partner in support of our arts and culture. And lastly, you should be aware of some changes in our staff. Carla Centeno is moving on to a position outside of the city. Congratulations to her. And Deanna Augustini is currently out on maternity leave for the next few months. Congratulations to her as well. And while we are short-staffed, everything is set to move forward as planned for fiscal year 23 funding cycle. The September policy and funding meeting was canceled as there were no further updates or action items for the commissioners. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Commissioner Bossler. That's great. Good news, especially for Deanna and for Carla. That's great news. Alrighty, I am going to be speaking for Commissioner Meza today for the Public Art Committee. For the August and September Public Art Committee meetings, there were no action items. Both meetings, we received 12 presentations in total of the preliminary temporary project ideas from the Artists Commission for the Park Social Initiative. And we anticipate the remaining 6 presentations at the October meeting. Just like to say as a note, I attended these meetings. It's really interesting to see the presentations. So if you have time, maybe you want to drop in. Public Art Committee members had an opportunity to ask questions and provide input on the preliminary proposals. In addition, the September meeting, we received a presentation from artist M.R. Barnadas for the schematic artwork proposal for Civic Center mural project. Do you remember where that is? Like kind of that little walkway along the side of the Civic Center. The committee asked questions, provided feedback. I'd also like to remind the executives committee about San Diego Design Week. The public art team is going to be hosting a guided tour of public art downtown this Sunday. The tour is sold out, so too bad if you didn't get a ticket. There's a lengthy wait list. That's fantastic. Also, arts and culture staff have set up a small series of interactive self-guided tours of the civic art collection. And that's really great. That's a lot of fun. And those are going to be, you can find that information on the Design Week website. I believe there is a link in our agenda. Last but not least, as part of Design Week programming, there's going to be a panel discussion at Bread and Salt Sunday at 6 p.m. And the selection panelists from the San Diego Practice Initiative, they're going to be discussing current trends in art patronage, including civic patronage in the context of the San Diego Practice Initiative. So it's also your last opportunity to see the other half of the San Diego Practice exhibition, which is currently installed at Bread and Salt. Highly recommend all of those things. I'm very excited about Design Week being here, getting people thinking about design ahead of the next couple of years, talking about the global design. Help me, Rebecca. It's called World.
All good, Janet. The World Design Capital 2024.
That's it. Thank you. I'll get it by 2024 for sure. All righty. Commissioner Hughes, anything you'd like to report out from advocacy and outreach?
Just to echo what Commissioner Bossler said, we're waiting on the revisions on 100-3 from City Council. It was tabled for last City Council meeting, but looks like it's going to move forward for discussion and vote sometime later this month. So looking forward to that. Also have had good individual meetings representing the commission with the team over at Movement Catalyst San Diego, as well as some really great updates from the San Diego Regional Arts and Culture Coalition, including that the Americans for the Arts Arts Impact Study of the city of San Diego, as well as other areas within the county. So Oceanside, Carlsbad, Escondido, Coronado, etc., is on track. So we're very excited about that. Plus the news about a arts office in the county level, taking some of the the financial pressure off of our team and the city's coffers. So nothing huge to update, but definitely staying involved.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Hughes. In terms of the Commissioner Engagement Ad Hoc Committee, Commissioner Nuana was unable to attend, but the Equity Statement Task Force has convened and they've begun drafting an equity statement. So they'll be meeting again in September and hope to have a final draft at that time. Belle, do we have any public comment for committee reports?
So those members of the public in attendance, please raise your hand if you'd like to comment. Seeing none, Chair Poutre.
All right, very good, thank you. All right, next up, we have the commission agenda, and this is for our September 24th, 2021 commission meeting. Everybody got the agenda as part of the packet, correct? Please let me know right now if you did not receive it. Okay, great. Did anybody want to make a motion to approve the agenda as it stands? Commissioner Smith?
So moved.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Commissioner Hughes?
I second.
Thank you. All righty. Is there any discussion? Anybody have any comments about the agenda? Rebecca, Commissioner Smith.
Yes. Thank you. Just as we are continuing to meet on Zoom, and I will pose the question and then also be open to giving the answer. Any possibilities of still inviting someone to, I don't know, do poetry, spoken word, even come sing us a song, just something that's going to really open up our meeting to remind us about the work that we do, because here we are, right? I'm on another board and we've also decided to stay on Zoom indefinitely. So yeah, is it too late since we're trying to do the agenda now? And if so, I'm fine to think about doing something for October, but just wanted to put that on the table. Is there still an appetite for that for us?
Well, speaking personally, I enjoyed anybody who came and performed anything in front of us. I really enjoyed that. And I think the last one we had was the young lady who won the poetry contest. Do you have any specific suggestions? Does anybody have any suggestions in that regard? I'm really open to that.
I don't at this point. I just wanted to see if that's even something that we can do for September 24th. And if that's not available at this time, are we okay for October? And I'm happy, Janet, to be the one to be on the hook for that.
Okay. This is probably a good time to mention, yes, Jonathan, to that what Fritz and I are working on. So Fritz and I both have an appetite for being with y'all in public, but not talking about the commission. And so we are planning some field trips for commissioners. And we had a meeting about it yesterday. And we've picked out a few potential places and a few potential dates over the next few months where, I mean, it's not mandatory. And if you can't make it, you can't make it. But we want to make these really attractive in terms of being out in the community and getting to know some of the groups we may not know so well. And maybe taking advantage a little bit of the fact that well, for instance, we can ask Michael Brown, who isn't here, so I'm, of course, volunteering him for things, but we could ask Michael, can you give us a tour in the museum? We're talking about trying to go to the front for Day of the Dead type things. Again, we wouldn't be talking about commission stuff, so we don't have to worry about the Brown Act as long as we all behave ourselves. But it's a way for us to really build those relationships with the groups, the ecosystem that are out there, the people. So that's something Fritz and I kind of, being socializers, said, let's see what we can come up with that. So I hope that answers your question. But I also agree that it would be really nice to have performer of some sort drop into a meeting and start us off with a poem or a song or a piece on a violin. I would adore that.
How about if, just in the interest of time, and I don't know if this is following protocol here, can I volunteer to do something for the October meeting?
Yes, you may. Thank you very much, Commissioner Smith.
Thank you, Chair Portray.
Stepping forward. I love it. Okay, very good. So we now need to add something to, so does somebody want to amend the motion? Do we need to do that? I'm not clear.
If we're adding to the October agenda, we won't need to do anything.
Yeah, we're not touching the September agenda at all.
Oh, that's right. We're talking about October. Okay. Sounds great. Okay, very good. So anything else on the September agenda? Anybody have any comments, questions? Okay, we're going to vote. Already asked for public comment, Belle?
I don't think we did for the agenda, but if any members of the public in attendance would like to comment on this item, please raise your hand now. Good to go, Chair Boutray.
All right, thank you very much, Belle. Okay, so we're going to vote on this action item, which is approving the agenda. And I'm going to call your name. You're going to unmute yourself, say yay, nay, or abstain. Commissioner Frank?
Yay.
Thank you. Commissioner Bossler?
Yay.
Thank you. Commissioner Hughes?
Yay.
Thank you. And my vote is a yay. Okay,
Janet, one more vote. I need to give you a yay too.
Rebecca? Did I
Yes.
miss you?
That's
Oh,
okay.
you know why?
I got a
Because
yay.
you're usually first, and I skipped you to make Vernon first. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. And since I'm on, if I can also get the date just to confirm the date of the October meeting, it should be
On my calendar. Hang on.
I just want to double check.
Yes, I will find it.
Looks like October 22nd at 11:30.
That's it.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I
Just wanted
have
to make
too.
sure it was the 22nd. Okay.
Great. And
Thank you.
thank you. And thank you, Belle, for being so on top of sending all those messages out that you can just click on and it goes on your calendar. Very good. Okie dokie. Well, this part of the show is where Jonathan fills us in on what's going on and the staff tells us what they're up to. Jonathan?
Good morning, everybody. Great to see you. I actually just wanted to fill in a little bit around mostly what has been reported already. First and foremost, as you know, Deanna was with us up until Friday at 5. In fact, it was Friday at 6. Monday, she gave birth to a very healthy young man. His name is Luca Wolf. So we're sending her lots of congratulations. She and all of her family. Very exciting.
Excuse me, Belle, if you have like a mailing address, and is that Wolf with an E at the end or just Wolf?
WOLF, no E.
All right, great, thanks.
I do have an address for her and I'll send it to you right after this meeting, Janet.
Could
And
you just
unless
send
we
that
have
to
to,
most
like-
of us so we could, yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And if there's an opportunity for, I don't know if we need to do a motion or whatever, but you know, like we all chip in $10 and buy her a ton of diapers. I think, you know, those of us who've been parents, we know that that's going to help.
We can very easily do that offline without breaking any Brown Act.
I see, it sounds like
There's
Tyler
a
wants,
joke in there that I'm not making.
Tyler wants to be chair of the diaper committee, so let's go ahead and let him do it.
Part of outreach.
Mhm.
There you go. While we're talking about staffing, just to give you a little more clarity, we are obviously very shorthanded right now, but we're delighted that Leticia is coming back on contract. So she'll be working with us over the month. We're contracting her to do all of the workshops. So there'll be a staff person working with her, but she'll be the lead. And it'll be the 9 council district workshops, plus some fiscal, plus some very targeted ones. For example, Commissioner DeHaan Blevins has asked to host one specific for his constituents. So she'll be taking the lead on all of that. And then I'm delighted to say we are able to offload some of the kind of routine processing that team is responsible for to colleagues in the finance department. And then Laura and Belle are helping out as well. So it's a full team effort, but feeling really confident that we'll be back up and running with at least one more staff person by the 1st of November. just this morning, we found out that Commissioner Hughes' 100-03 is back on City Council agenda on the 21st. So we don't know if it'll be consent or not, but we'll keep you posted on that, Tyler. I also wanted to remind you all of the Catalyst series that we're co-producing with Claire Rose Foundation. The next one is on the 22nd at noon. We'll send that announcement out, and that is focused on the intersection of arts and health. So we're looking forward to that one. And then October is going to be community development. November and December is TBD, but thank you for all of you who are attending those. We're getting very good response or informal feedback from the larger philanthropic community. So we're really pleased with these. To that end, I also want to invite you all to think about virtually attending the Grantmakers in the Arts Conference that's taking place in November. This will be the second year that GIA is virtual. This year it's actually hybrid. It will be 2.5 days in Puerto Rico. So there's a deep dive into arts at the intersection of rebuilding communities that have been devastated due to nature as well as economics. But there's always a larger conversation about the intersection of art and social justice. You can buy a half day, a full day, or a full conference registration. So I urge you to go to the Grantmakers in the Arts website and take a look. You may find it really interesting. And then as far as kind of out of market activities, the Western State Arts Federation is hosting a virtual conference this month. I believe we've sent information out about that, but we'll send a reminder out next week. That's about creative industries and creative economy. Thought leaders from across the world are going to be participating, but it's really about the intersection of cultural policy, cultural workers, and the role of public policy and public agencies in both spaces, for-profit, nonprofit, creatives, and how we can better uplift our creative talent post-COVID. Delighted to say that I'm moderating that closing session, which is about the future of creative economy on the global perspective. Sounds a little haughtier than it really is, but it's a good group of educators, academics, and policy thought leaders. So if you can join any or all of that, we encourage you to do so as well. And then finally, as part of Design Week, yesterday, Christine Jones coordinated a really good panel discussion about creative industries that was very well received. So just doing a shout out to the public art team. They've been really exceptionally involved in Design Week, and I'm delighted. And Madam Chair, that's it. I just went through my list. Those are all of the reports.
Great. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Lots of cool things coming up. And how nice that these conferences offer virtual attendance. That's great. I was also reminded when we talked about looking for panelists, I was also reminded that I know people in the arts in other parts of the country. I never thought of inviting them to apply to be a panelist. But of course, because now we're virtual, I certainly can. So I'll encourage everybody. We probably all know people in the arts that might be interested in doing something like this. Okay.
Janet, if I could add
Yeah.
to that, that would be terrific. Last year, we really struggled to make sure that we had panelists that also represented every council district. And we've been trying really hard to meet that.
Mhm.
So as you're thinking about people outside of the city, that's fantastic. But if you can think about people that you know right in your neighborhoods as well, that'd be great.
I sure will. I hope we all will. Tyler?
Just a question on when we do have panelist recommendations, we're going to forward them the nomination form, or do we have any info on, I've suggested to a couple of arts educator friends, and the question has been, hey, do you know what the dates are, how long those commitments are going to be? I see there's an 8-hour day, etc. So is there more info that we can pass along, or I'm not sure. Normally I would just take those questions to Carla, but in this new paradigm, just wondering with whom to check.
Thanks for that question, Tyler. For the time being, why didn't you send any of that information to Belle and myself?
I see Commissioner Smith, you have a question.
Just following up on Jonathan's comment, Jonathan, which districts were toughest to represent, just so we can be mindful in our invitations?
Yeah, thank you, Council Member. Commissioner. I'm pulling the map up right now to make sure I give you the right council district numbers. There we go. 5, 6, 7. And surprisingly 2.
Okay, those are the toughest to get representation from. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Frank? Unmute yourself.
Oh, that. I said, I don't know if this is the correct time, but I just wanted to mention that the New York Times did a really gorgeous piece on the Ming in Sunday's paper. The online version of it is also stunning. And they talk about Jennifer Luce and David Reed, two, I'll call them old timers because they've been around, but they're powerhouses of design. They've done great things here for a long, long time. You don't hear about them much in this flash in the pan era, but there it is. Take a look at that piece. It really makes us look really good.
Agree. I was happy to see that too. I also happy to see a blow-in advertisement, nice 3-color flyer for the Ming, which came in my hard copy Times on Sunday.
Yeah, if I may, one of the things that struck me about the Ming throughout their closure was their presence. So yeah, I saw that insert in the San Diego version of the print edition, but throughout their absence, they have provided beautiful, nice to handle materials. And so you kind of knew what they were doing, what they were up to, which is quite a bit different than the way other people do it. Think of MCA, for existence. We were invited there, right? Just kind of privately, our group. But generally, the public, there's not much going on, like what's going on with MCA. They're kind of invisible. Their website hasn't changed. There's no public outreach whatsoever. What the Ming had done the entire time, to me, was remarkable and really effective. And so I'm really impressed with that group and how they've handled the renovation and how it turned out.
Good. I hope you'll tell him when you see him. I agree. Okay. Anybody else? All righty, then I will adjourn this meeting. See you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
And see you in an hour.